welcome to the B Team Podcast. I am your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
We're here every week to talk to you about all things Bentonville, bourbon, and business. The B Team Podcast. Be here. Welcome to the B Team Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Safran, along with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest. Welcome back.
Welcome back, man. Rob Nelson.
Great to see you, Rob.
He's all tanned up, like he's
He looks good
out of the island.
Yeah, and maybe the white shirt helps his tan too.
Yeah, Josh got me his shirts.
It's
my muscles.
Well, it's a men's extra medium for you.
Yeah. Rob and I told Josh the sizes, and I think he went down one or two.
Well, after the chest hair episode, I mean, the women are voted for you.
Pulled up.
The women have voted, and they want to see more sexiness out of you, man.
Right.
So. But we're a little bit more somber today. The joking will be probably minimalized a bit. We're here, obviously, to talk about some of the work that's going on in the community on the tornado. And we're here to welcome one of the best entrepreneurs and community spokespeople that I know, Mr. Mike Dooley. So, Mike, welcome.
You trying to make me cry before we even start? That was very kind. That was like, you need my hype man before I speak all the time? That was awesome. Usually I get on the radio, they're like, oh, what was your name again? Duley, you know?
No, you're like the OG in charity and community service, and if we were to spend time going through your resume, it would be about 40 minutes of all the stuff that you're doing. But so briefly, you've got Keller Williams, you're very entrepreneurial in some of your sign companies and businesses. But what I love most about you is, and I learned this through COVID, is as soon as the community's in need, Mike Dooley is the first one to jump in. So.
Well, very, very kind. And a lot of those, the resume and LinkedIn will show the stuff that's failed, right? So just so you know, people, we always see it on podcasts and Instagram, everything happening great. I think just keep trying and keep doing stuff. That's why I just keep hustling. You know, you have stuff that doesn't work, but I don't spend 4 hours on it. I go, hey, that didn't work. Let's move to the next thing. But yeah, currently chairman of Keller Williams. We have 416 people, which is pretty crazy. We have 331 agents right here in Northwest Arkansas, and then we got Stillwell, Oklahoma. We added them most recently, which is pretty cool. Of a lot of great agents, a lot of good people, just helping people. We do about $1 billion in sales a year, about 3,000 units here in Northwest Arkansas, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So I've been our chairman, I think maybe I feel like it's been 100 years, or maybe 2 or 3 years, which is cool. I do have a team, too. Really, my wife makes it happen there. She reminds me she does all the heavy lifting. I do all the fun stuff, she says, you know. But she's the hustler.
That's a common theme on the episode is all the wives. Shout out to the wives. Matt, do you want to do a pour for us? Because you donated and brought in a bottle of Whistlepig today. We're not going to do a big bourbon piece today because we're going to spend a lot of time focused on the charity. But
did you want me to open it because you couldn't figure it out earlier?
Well, I had to give you a role as the co-host, and I see you're doing a much better job than I am. That's childproof, I guess.
I had to make sure it wasn't one of those that was already half drank or 75% drink. You know, where your friends bring it over. Like, I brought you a gift.
Yeah.
Half the drink's gone. But what he's doing, I'll tell you too. So the easy sign.
I think he brought it because he couldn't get it open either.
It's a trick one. There you go.
Yeah.
There we got it. There you go. We're into it.
That's the other thing, which is pretty fun. The easy sign, which is a patented item, which you see about 600 of them in Northwest Arkansas, which is pretty fun. PVC foldable sign. But I'll tell you the reason I invented it and wanted to move it to the end is I have 2 daughters, Evelyn and Sinclair. And how many people do you know that said, hey, I invented something? People all the time. 24 years ago, I had this idea, and they never did anything with it. I said, you know what? I'm going to teach my daughters right now, even if I don't sell one of these things, that you can invent something, you can get a patent, you can get an idea, and you can get it to fruition and get it out there and sell it. So that's kind of the vision behind the sign, but it's kind of taken off, which is pretty cool and pretty fun. Fireworks stands, all kinds of stuff.
You got a patent on that, too, if I remember correctly.
We officially got it.
I just saw that.
A lot of people don't know, and I didn't really know, that you get basically patent pending is kind of like, hey, here's your trial. Right. Let's make sure no one else in the world has this, and that takes about 18 months. So as an entrepreneur, you learn stuff all the time.
Well, cheers to you. Thank you for that.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Yep. So I wanted to spend most of the time, because we're all looking like the same today. Normally Matt's got his look, and then he's making fun of Rob and I and our look, but we all look the same today. We're all in these NWA strong.
We're all on a level playing field. Except you got us shirts that are too small for us.
That's an extra medium.
They did pull it together like in an hour.
Yeah.
Well, like, aren't they warm a little bit too? Like, you know?
You're like, you got your iron out there. You're putting this on.
I sent Mike a text. I'm like, it'd be great if we had shirts. Mike sends Be Unlimited. Shout out to
Yes,
Ben Clark.
yes.
These are Be Unlimited shirts, and so they had them sitting in Fayetteville. Somebody drove them up hot off the press for the B team today.
Nice.
So we do need to get a picture from Mr. Clark before we
Yes.
go. You look good.
Yeah, look good.
Look good. We'll zoom in. Close up. Looking good. So the idea for the shirt, this came up during COVID.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, a lot of businesses, and me included, and I don't know about you guys, when COVID happened, my wife said, everything we have, all our 8 or 9 companies are in real estate. And she's like, oh, we got to be fine. And of course, I lied like any good husband. I said, we're going to be perfectly fine. I will be fine. Inside, I'm like, holy crap, what's going to go on, you know? But then one day, basically, our phones was nothing. You know, it was kind of like everyone was just kind of figuring it out. The next day, crap, the prices went wild. Everything went wild. People were like, when can I see a property? And we're like, we can't even leave our house. And like, I want to get on this property. So we figured out how to, Zoom stuff and do all these things. But I realized I had so many friends out there with businesses. And a lot of them, too, weren't necessarily entrepreneur or didn't do things. And they're like, we don't even have Venmo. How do we accept payment? So I figured out a way. I started a Facebook group, Give Back NWA, and just figured out ways to help people. People didn't know how to even do Zoom. So I have a friend, Amy Eichler. She's awesome. She's an artist. She was like, well, how do I give art class if people can't come to my school? So we started doing Zooms. I paid for one for my clients. I said, hey, your kids are probably going crazy like my kids at home. So I paid for a class for kids to learn how to do a drawing and a painting, and just helped people on how to do it. And I've always just said, just say yes. So in COVID 2020, that's all I did is just say yes. So if someone's like, hey, I don't really want to buy a house now, well, then I was like, well, I have a title company or I have a mortgage company. I'll help you refi. I'll help you do whatever.
He's like, just say yes.
Yeah, just say
I think we say that to our wives all the time, too. It doesn't work to say it right. T-shirts, just say yes.
When you walk in with this shirt on, she probably runs and hides.
She says, just say no.
she does like, so when are you signing me up for now, But I think they figured it out. And I would just say a lot of it, entrepreneur stuff or people you see successful, some of it's luck.
Sure.
I don't care how hard you work, and I will outwork a lot of people, but some of it's just been luck. And I would just say living here. A lot of people don't realize in Northwest Arkansas, if you put a little bit of work, you can be lucky and you can be good, if you will. So I think that's something that I'm just grateful for living in Northwest Arkansas. I'm not from here. I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And people are always like, hey, would you raise your kids in Miami, and hanging out with J-Lo and all that stuff? I was like, never. I mean, this place... My kids have everything they need here. We can fly to places easy. We can go to Chick-fil-A and see 3 people we know. I love that. Miami, you might take 7 days sitting in Chick-fil-A the whole time. You won't see one person, You're like, oh, maybe I recognize that person. But just a blessed community. And it's like, you know what? I've been lucky. I've had a lot of things that haven't worked and some things that worked. I'm just like, you know what? Let me just turn it on. And I just know a lot of people. Josh, you know people. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to have the shirt, so...
Josh is like, we got to get back.
I know
on track.
exactly.
Because I want to raise money today.
4 hours for this podcast, right?
We could go for 4 with this
yeah.
group. But so the shirts, which looks very nice on Matt, we a flex pose and something for the cameras. So if we want to use these shirts to drive sales and drive money in the community,
they're already the viewers are already speaking.
I mean,
like they're ordering.
They want that shirt. They want to order that Matt Marr shirt.
We could do signed ones.
Signed ones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Sign it.
Yeah. Might be a little sweaty.
It's a really good idea. I like that.
Rob,
Well, we're going to have 3 or 4 things we're going to talk about today. And like any entrepreneur, you're like, hey, how do you tell people? I don't know about you. You're like driving down the road and you're like, dial this number, call this, go to this QR code. We're going to make it really simple. 616-HOME, and all they need to do is text NWA Strong, and our team will get them the links for shirts. We're going to talk about a free concert. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Let's make it really simple. As you know, if you don't make it simple, it won't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some we're not thinking about, but I'm just like, you know what? That goes to my whole organization, a lot of the team people, and they can text out links, and we'll kind of get it all in one place and make it simple. But here's the great thing about Ben. So we're talking about COVID, and we're like, hey, he's got a shirt company, and they sell to sororities and fraternities. Well, they can't leave their house. How are they buying stuff? How are they going to events? And him and I came together. We're like, hey, NWA Strong. And this didn't necessarily come from us. Nashville did it. A couple other people did it, and I always say, we're What is it? Replicate, duplicate.
Yep.
So R&D. So we did, so all the proceeds of the shirts will go back to the tornado victims, which is really cool and great by Ben's organization. So we'll figure out ways to get those to people. And that's what we did during COVID. COVID, we didn't have good systems. We just figured out a way and said, hey, start Venmoing me. And I just started getting $12, $14. And we started bringing food to Mercy, to, first responders. And I will tell you, if you're listening, get your kids involved. I will tell you, that's been game-changing for me. I'm not letting my kids sleep until noon and iPad it up where people don't have electricity. Get your butt out there. So they were with us, handing out food to firemen and just experience it. Because there's two sides of this coin. As you know, we're blessed. So with the blessing also, I want to go to a nice game and good seats and all that stuff. But then all my kids saying, hey, we're not going to the box this time, First time that happens, the last game they go to. So I think just weaving that in our community is really important. Because you know what? We're that generation that's kind of helped grow in Northwest Arkansas. Our next generation is going to be like, what do you mean? I got 17 Chick-fil-A's. Well, we never had Chick-fil-A. We never had some of these things.
Well, first reason, how do we get Rob up before noon? Forget the kids with the iPad, but if I get Rob up,
I'm always up.
He's done a 180.
Yeah.
He'll text me sometimes at 7 in the morning, which for
I'm a
him,
morning bird now.
Well, that's
a big
I
deal.
think the energy started to wake him up.
Is it possible that he's like not going to sleep and he's texting at 7 a.m. from the night before?
No, that's for sure. Those days are long gone.
There is a system. I do this. I work at 11 or 12 o'clock. You can email. I don't think they got it figured out in text. You can email at midnight.
You
You
can
have it
send.
send at 8 a.m. So everyone in my world's like, oh, crap, 27 emails at 8 a.m. But that's been good versus getting it at 11.
Yeah.
So if Matt wanted to model this shirt, but more importantly, if he wanted to buy it, so he wanted to go to that website, so text to what number?
Text 616-HOME,
Yep.
which I'll spell it out. It's 479 area code, 616-4663.
And how much would this shirt cost?
Good question that I don't have the notes on that.
But it's a donation.
Yeah,
It'll be
the donation.
and 100% of the money goes.
The proceeds.
Right.
Obviously, just the cost of the shirt and stuff. Be Unlimited will cover, the difference. So,
All right, so we should expect through the B Team podcast and through everything you do, we should be able to raise a large sum of money just from selling these shirts.
for sure. And I got 17 other things I'm going to get to. We're going to raise a lot of money and figure out ways to do that. So,
All right, let's get
Well,
it.
and then
Yeah.
if people don't want shirts when they text you, they can just donate.
we're going to have what? That's a good question. We don't have set up, but we will by the time we go
Because a lot
live,
of
right?
people would
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
not,
Yeah.
nothing against shirts, but
Yeah.
You don't like the shirt?
I like it. I'm just saying then they don't have to ship it and everything else. They can give whatever and they're done.
We'll figure out a
Just
way
a-
to give back NWA to do that. But here's another option. A lot of people know businesses. So if you know a business, Heroes Coffee, whoever, and you want to buy a gift card, we're going to have a silent auction at a free concert. So we're going to do it at Rendezvous June 8th at 7 p.m. We're going to have a concert, and it's going to be free for it. Community and people always go, I don't know about you guys, it's like, I don't have a babysitter. Kids, everyone's welcome, 7 p.m., free concert, and we're going to have silent auction items out there. So what we need help is getting people to get silent auction items out there, and that's how we're going to raise money for that night. Keller Williams and Rendezvous are going to cover the stage costs and actually the musicians donating their fee, so they won't charge us anything to the charity. So getting that really going, I think that's going to be a lot of
So
fun.
like Taylor Swift? Who's coming in? Like what artists are going to be here performing?
Who's your favorite? Garth Brooks said he was going to come. We'll see, I guess. Let's get it going.
I mean, we did a man band one time in here, and we were great.
Yeah, we're not going to raise any money if we do that.
I think Josh, I think he wakes up wishing that he could do that.
Yeah.
But we saw.
You don't think we could do like a
The
couple
skills
dance
right there.
moves, and then like we could do like a
I'm
lip
sure
sync or
we can
something?
get you guys on stage, but it's Once We're Young is the band.
Once we're young.
Once We're Young that's going to be playing.
What
So
kind of music?
I have no idea. You didn't tell me to know everything, right? This is nothing. Entrepreneurship is messy, right? You think, I got all my notes. I'm good to go, so.
So the concert can be at Rendezvous Junction.
Yes, and that's 2225 South Bellevue, right in Rogers, next to the mall, Promenade Mall.
So because there's no cost for us to attend, the money is going to come from the silent auction items, and then will Rendezvous Junction, if we're buying beer and stuff, kick back into that as well?
We are working on that right now to have a drink that's going to be named, Tornado, whatever it is. So we're going to, I'm sure there'll be 10 more things added by then. But here's another thing I would tell you. If you're someone that wants to get involved with the community, as you see, this is not buttoned up. This is like 2 nights ago. And it's like, hey, how do we pull people together? And that's what I love about this community is people just jump right in and say, hey, what do you need? How can I help? And it's like, boom, here we go. And it gets rolling. You know, we just have a good time.
What do you think? Is it on your calendar, June 6th? Can the B team be there?
It's going to be June 8th.
June 8th? We don't want to be there June 6th.
There you go, I know. Well, you can. You guys can, you know what, make it like the Razorback Super Regional.
Yeah.
Get your chairs out there, you know, and let's get a camp out, you know. We'll set up little tents, and it'll be $1,000 to have your tent with a mattress, you know, and some AC unit or something.
There you go.
What's that thing Deion Sanders is pimping out? It's that portable AC unit. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
No, you got to see it. It's cool. See, I don't know the name of it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep us on, Josh.
I'm just checking in with my guys. Maybe the shirt's a little tight today. It's impacting their vocal cords. Give us some feedback.
Rob and I are just kind of staring. And
Sounds like you guys had a rough night last night.
I don't know what happened.
We're both hung up.
I'll carry us a little bit more if need be.
Josh is like, come on, guys.
Come on,
let's
guys.
go.
No, you're doing great.
No, we're good.
You're doing
I'm
great.
sure
We're just
though,
All right, so we have the concert coming up.
we got the concert coming up.
We've got the
t-shirts.
shirts.
We do.
What else do we have?
I thought I'd throw this out there too. So real estate school is $500 usually.
Okay.
So when you text that number 616-HOME, we'll actually give you a free code to be able to attend online, finish at your own pace, real estate school for free.
Okay. So if someone wants to become a realtor.
Well, and here's what I was thinking. If you look at a lot of the businesses in downtown Rogers and Bentonville and stuff, some of them are closed.
Right.
They're going to take their landlord if they're renting or whatever it is. I've talked to a lot of clients that are like, we don't have a space.
Right.
So their career might change.
Sure.
So that's an opportunity if someone's ever thought about exploring. I'll tell you, in COVID, we had a large influx of real estate agents. We got about 3,700 in Northwest Arkansas. But if we really are on the trend of 1 million people, we're going to need more and need people that want to do it, be great, be investors.
Okay.
So a lot of opportunity. A lot of people say, hey, we don't want any more agents as agents. But I'm like, hey, give everyone a great opportunity. If they're great, there's a lot of room for There is.
There's always room for more.
And I would say one other thing, a lot of it's funny. A lot of our clients are saying, hey, how do we help somebody that's out of business? Mm-hmm. So we've had a lot of clients reach out to us and like, hey, I have $1,000 flex warehouse, 1,000 square foot flex warehouse I'm not using. So if somebody's out of business and maybe they need to use that temporarily, we can. We've had other people say, hey, if someone has an office and they need to use a couple offices in our office, we have spots.
Okay.
I think that's really cool about our community, just saying, hey, they need Wi-Fi, they need a charger, they need a place for a month or two to figure it out. We got you.
Yeah.
So we do, Keller Williams, we have 7 offices, and we have plenty of spots. Plenty is a strong word, I guess. But we got spots too where we can put a few people in, staffing company, whatever.
So if some of the viewers right now are watching this and they want to reach out to you because they're thinking of something or need something, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
616-HOME, nice and easy, right on there. They text their needs, call us, and we'll have to test this system out. As you know, entrepreneurs, the goal is that you never get a voicemail.
I want to be careful with this, though, because I can see Matt already thinking about, he's going to text me like, can I get somebody over and rub my shoulders? Somebody go to the fridge and bring me out.
I really would like an office. And I usually said that
I was going to test it out right here.
I like it. Do it live and see what happens.
So it's already set up?
It's ready to go at all times.
479.
479.
The 479's the area code.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is good that we're doing
it.
It
Is.
So
Yep.
479.
Yep.
616.
616 home.
4663.
What are you going to say? Please bring me a Coke?
I'm just saying hi from the B team.
Oh, visionary.
Yeah.
Put pressure on me. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's hope that the building doesn't implode right now. But Matt and I posted yesterday.
Number not valid.
479.
I'm joking.
I was like, wait a minute.
All three of us.
Whoa, we're like, what wrong?
We were all like, he entered the wrong number.
We knew it was Ron's fault. We knew it was Ron's fault.
We knew there was a lot of concentration going into putting those numbers in.
Because I'm like this.
Yeah.
But this is small, though. I would throw it out. I know a lot of your listeners are entrepreneurs. I've seen some of the Butter Biscuit.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Their headquarters, they moved in one of my buildings in Bentonville. They weren't sure if they were going to have a permanent location. And I leaned in with them like 8 months ago. That's just kind of what I would tell everyone listening.
Yeah.
You just help
Yeah.
people and you figure
Yeah.
it out. You know, they're just good people. They do a good job. Sam actually used to do in my Rogers office a Bible study at 5:30 in the morning. So if you have an office space that's not being used at 5:30, he would
Yeah.
have 17 people at a Bible study at my office. It was awesome. You know, people are like, "Oh, I've been to your office." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we hadn't met." I'm sure like, "Oh, at the Bible study." I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't there at 5:30." You know,
Yeah. Right.
Mayor reminded me I needed to be there.
Well, Matt and I posted something yesterday. I still don't know where Rob was because we filmed without him again.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't yesterday. Well, you posted it.
posted yesterday. It was 2 days ago. But
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I didn't even get the phone call.
Well, you weren't here. You were out of town. You're on one of your
There's a
vacations.
trend that he doesn't know how to use the phone though, too. I guess, right?
But most importantly is we're talking to our small business in the community, and we want people to that are in need to reach out as well, and maybe we can help them through some of this charity. You always post things about who needs help and how do I donate funds to those groups, and so as these businesses are kind of getting themselves figuratively and literally unburied this week, reach out through the B Team podcast, reach out through that. And if we can help some of the businesses either by highlighting them on here on the podcast or finding ways to get some of these funds to them, that's really what we're trying to do and talk through today.
Yeah, and Give Back NWA is a Facebook group. If people want to go on there, they can and ask.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I think there's like 2,000 people on there, and people will just respond. I'm not handy usually, you know, so it's funny. I don't know about you guys. When I first got married, I'm like, I'm handy. I can do it all. And Cody was like, let me just call my dad. Now I just call him. Let's skip a step, you know?
It's like me. I just call Matt. Like, hey, Matt, you want to come over for a beer? Can you bring this tool? I don't know what it's called, but I'll just send you a picture of it.
I'm still trying to do it all, but I need to get more like you guys.
But you were out in the community when we talked a couple of days ago. You were out and about, and you guys have both been out of town for the tornado.
We have,
and came back and saw. And as much as I texted you and told you and sent pictures, until you were here to see it yourself.
Yeah. It's going to be it'll be years for some of these business, like you said, some of these businesses. Like we have friends that have a business in downtown Rogers, and like the whole roof and everything's just gone. So I mean, that's not a quick fix.
No. To your point, though, you think about it, some of these people, maybe they didn't have TI money from the landlord, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears in their business. Well, if the landlord's building is gone and their business is gone, well, that cash really is gone.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, hey, where do you go rent now? Where do you move your stuff? I think some of that's got to be complex. Like right now, I think helping get power and all that stuff is important. It is really going to happen, but still the next month
down the road is going to be the.
Well, there's still a lot of folks without power today.
Yeah.
Still a lot of folks,
Absolutely.
for sure.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. And I think even in that situation, I haven't heard this conversation yet, but I'm dreading it, is how supportive are the insurance companies going to be, right? And how much are they going to be, well, you know, that technically, and you're like, you know, how that whole thing's going to work. And so in spite of the TI, in spite of all the other stuff, well, I'm covered for $500,000 or $1 million of that. Are we really going to get that for these businesses?
Yeah.
The answer in many cases is hopefully, but probably not.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem.
I'd say primary residence. If you, downtown Rogers, you bought a house for $50,000, which is crazy. Even downtown Bentonville, you know, in 2005, they're $48,000.
Yeah.
So if they never reassess their,
True value.
the true value, and now it's $400,000, $500,000. So I think we're going to have to get loans potentially for their house, and they have to demolish it. It's going to get very interesting to see how we help people.
Yeah.
I think, you know, a lot of these apartment complexes are going to fill up too. You know, if you hear Mervyn talk about U of A and all that stuff, we have a vacancy of like 1.5%. I think that's going to go to a negative line trend now. It's going to be pretty crazy.
I think there's a need as we speak right now because, you know, we've got some rental properties, and our rental property currently doesn't have power, but my phone rings constantly. When is the power going to be on? Then we could put a family in there. So that there's, I don't think we've even seen the true impact yet. We're just still in shock.
My uncle's in from out of town, and he's staying at the Doubletree, and he goes, oh, my room's not great. And I go, well, as of 4 days ago, it was probably a 60, 50, 40% vacancy rate. Now there's no rooms because all right, everybody's, I mean, it's crazy how Airbnb market, right? I mean, there's so many people at home. People are sleeping in shelters. People are sleeping, I think, at Rogers High School. There's all kinds of stuff going on right now, and that's why I love what we're doing today is we want to be able to just raise funds and deliver them to people who are in need, because there's a lot of people in need.
Yeah. And what's interesting, there's still tourists in town too, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they decided to stay or not go home or still coming regardless. There's people out there riding their bikes and
Probably all of the above.
All
I mean,
of
they
the
already
above,
got
right?
all this planned, and
Yeah.
you've been not.
yeah. And I know the city's working
Yeah.
extremely quick to try to reopen a lot of the trails and parks, and I mean,
moneymaker.
It's a big domino effect that
Yeah.
it's
I've
just
actually, I
start-
don't know about you guys, been pretty proud with a lot of cities have been
Oh.
posting on Facebook and all that stuff. It's like, hey, this park is open, this much power
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I think they've been proactive, which is good.
yeah.
Most of the time, people are like, hey, what's going on? They've been like out there. But I also say the shirts too. Even if you buy one, people are going to say, hey, what's NWA Strong? I don't, we're all kind of around the same age. And,
Yeah.
and I go to California or other places like, oh, I love NWA. They don't know it's Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
So,
Mr.
it's
Radford?
it is. It's an awareness thing,
I like that.
too. Just something to think about.
Radford,
So,
NWA Strong.
there you
I
go.
can't believe you didn't get them to like put 616 home.
That would have been a good idea, right? I think sometimes back to the just say yes, people are like, hey, how can we help you?
You missed out on that marketing.
I did.
Jimmy.
It's like-
Time for a reprint.
But I'll tell you though, this was about Ben's company, and I think that's something
Yeah,
I realized
yeah.
in COVID is that hey, if you always seem like, and there is those people out there. I just said back to just say yes. It's like I'm going to help a friend out. Well, now he's thriving and great. Hey, and he's like, hey, how can I help someone else? That domino effect, what you said. That's kind of just the way I've lived. Is just
Yeah.
saying, hey, I'm just going to be, say yes and luck and be blessed. Now, hey, don't sit and watch YouTube and hang out and just say you're gonna be blessed and be lucky.
But Mr.
You gotta be
Dooley,
in the right
don't
spots.
poo-poo this idea because you're
Yeah.
the most serial entrepreneur I know. Now think about this for a second. If we make 1,000 of these Just Say Yes shirts and give them to all the married husbands, and they're walking around with the house showing it to their wife, hey, honey, just say yes. Like I think we could sell a lot of shirts, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Before I came on here, and just so you know, the last couple of months, my wife, I am on a no more businesses. Like I am on an X. I'm not allowed to come up with one more idea. I'm just sitting next to her, and she goes, "Nope, don't even think about it."
So if you walked in the house with Carrie wearing a Just Say Yes shirt, you wouldn't even have to say anything. She'd be like, no. But
Probably.
Right? But just say yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it
Good
may have
idea.
like an opposite effect if you got one of those.
So maybe just say no and then maybe turn it to yes.
That would like do some reverse psychology.
I like that because we're smarter than that.
Yeah, that's right. Emily's shaking her head right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
right
if she's
there.
saying no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's saying no matter what. All right, so tell me, the phone line is open. It's live.
Yes, you tested it.
Rob tested it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't get
Yeah, it's been crickets on the
Yeah,
I know.
line.
yeah,
They're busy. They're taking
They're busy.
shirt orders.
They're busy.
yeah.
Thousands.
They are, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
out of our 331 agents, we had 18 without power.
Okay.
This is kind of what I love, hopefully, about our culture. We had 21 Keller Williams people at one of our Keller Williams people house today, chopping up trees, branches, all
Doing
that
all that
stuff.
stuff, yeah.
And their trees fell over into the neighbors. And it was kind of funny. You think about our NWA culture and Keller Williams and other stuff. The neighbors came out of the back and they're like, oh, hey, thank you. Love you guys. 21 people in their backyard chopping up trees and doing all that stuff. It's like, doesn't matter whose yard it is or what it is. Let's just lean in together,
Yeah.
So proud of our people because it's not something they're regularly doing. Even me, if you look at me, I got scars all over the place. It's
Yeah.
like muscles that I don't regularly use. It's like bending over to do chainsaw. It's funny. I'm not really a handy person, as I said earlier, but my dad said, you can't use a chainsaw in shorts. So he's already like, telling me what to do, saying, hey, you got to have pants on. So,
Is that a true statement?
yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, it's hard not to, though.
Yeah.
That is true. But
The bad thing is you fill your socks full of sawdust from the chainsaw, so it's kind of it's better with the shorts.
I did have my protective glasses on, so I was like, he'd at least be proud of me for
But
that.
you go home and
so-
you're like picking, splinters out of your shoes. So the pants is a good idea.
But then Cody was out there. She was like, "Oh, Mike's using a chainsaw. Let me get that baby." She got out there and she's like
Nice.
getting after it. So that's cool. But yeah, the concert would be just something to keep talking about. I think that's going to be a lot of fun and pour in ideas. Yeah, we're open to anything. If someone's like, "Hey, I want to bring food or I want to do whatever," lean in. We can figure it out. We're right by the mall parking lot. We'll take over the parking lot. We'll figure out something.
So all the suppliers watching, like gift baskets, anybody, right? The Mercantile,
Yep.
right? We want to get gift baskets.
Jen's place,
Yeah.
Jen's Place, yep.
year worth of haircuts or
I was
something.
going to do
I like
6 years
that.
worth of free haircuts for you.
They've been, hey, plug them. They've been doing my hair, I think, for how long you been open? I was like the second
5.5
client, I
years,
think.
yeah. It's good
It
looking
was the
haircut.
other Josh and then me. He's like, hey, you got to come here. It's been great. So it's a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys, everything you're doing. I always feel like my old suit coats, I'm bringing them over or different things. So
Well, it's interesting. Everybody's trying to figure out how to give back, and all the restaurants are donating food. So I reached out to a buddy who owns a barbershop that's closed. I'm like, hey, man, I know you're closed. We'll open up and give you some chairs. Like, you want to come early in the morning, late in the evening, weekends. And he could see how touched he was. I mean, everybody that cuts hair is a competitor, but nobody really thinks about that or cares. He's like, let me see. And his power came back on, and he didn't need to come in, but he was like so touched. And I'm like, that's the least I could do. There's not, I'm not cooking food and handing out stuff, but can I help your business open back up by bringing people in? And I'll be there at 6 a.m, opening the door for you to cut hair. But that's what this community does. That's what everybody in this table is doing.
Yeah, 100%.
yep, that's awesome. I love that. Yep.
I bet it was hard for Josh to make that phone call.
I was thinking a lot. I'm like 6 a.m. is early.
I'd just give him the key.
You're up early, we found out today. Yeah, I can have you open that.
You said 7. I was like, my daughter wakes up before then. Grown up people, at least have a 6 in front of
You
them.
haven't met Bart Nelson yet.
But maybe he was thinking about recruiting the person, just saying, hey, maybe need another location. You just merge locations, so it's a win-win-win.
With Josh,
Sometimes
there's
you're
always
generous.
something going on behind the scenes.
It's okay to be generous and say, hey, come on in and use the shop. There's nothing wrong with that. There was no hidden agenda. I was trying to do my part.
Hey, that's
No, that's solid.
Right. But you guys would have done the same thing. You would have done it 20 times over.
Yep.
So, I always try to, and I'm being serious, I try to emulate. When I know there's something going on in the community that needs help, I'm like, what would Mike Dooley do? WWMDD. And I'm like that's the least I could do. I can't do much more than that. And you have, what did you say before you came in? You have 450 unread text messages right now?
Yeah, like 464, so none of them from my wife, though. We'll make sure you don't just say
Well, I'm
yes.
happy that because we pulled this off yesterday. Like, hey, do you want to come in and do this? So I'm thankful that you responded to my text. But you put all your business on the side this week, and you're running around doing everything you can for the community. And I love you for many reasons, but that to me just speaks to your character.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. And I just say, any entrepreneur, I think we always think I got to go to bed. There used to be that rule, like old school, hey, I'm going to return every voicemail or every text. Well, sometimes I really want to do that, and I found myself doing that, but then you run yourself ragged, and then you're not there for the people that are important.
Yeah.
Jesse Itzler, if you guys follow him, I love his stuff. He does a good job. His wife, Sarah Blakely, that created Spanx. And he just talks about if I'm too tired for my kid to play soccer or do something like that, my priorities are way out of whack. So that's something I think about, So it's like, obviously being like Sylvie's basketball coach, we weren't the best basketball team, we still had fun.
Right. Yeah.
So there's another thing, you don't have to be perfect. I think.
Well, Matt was out
messy.
yesterday. Matt was out yesterday. I had somebody that ran into him. He was doing chainsaw, but they took pictures. Matt had a tip jar. He's like, "Hey, I'm working out harder, so throw some 20s in here for the Mars family." So I was like, "If you need the $20 bill, Matt, I mean."
He's so full of it.
I learned those chainsaws, though. I mean, it's like, man, they need bar oil, right? They need gas. You got to tighten the chain on stuff.
They don't run on things.
You should design. You should patent the idea. It's like a chainsaw that never needs maintenance. It just like runs 24/7. Maybe you and Elon Musk come together and you just have this Tesla chainsaw.
They don't
I
run
like
on
it,
thanks.
man.
That's another new shirt. They don't run on thanks.
That's an old boat saying.
Yeah.
So that's what the boaters tell each other. So.
Well, that's something people haven't even got to is the boats and the marinas and all that stuff. It's like,
Do you still have your boat out there?
No, we had, fortunately, unfortunately, we had just sold our boat just prior to the storm. So hopefully the new owner is okay with the new boat because that thing was perfect.
Well, yeah, I heard that Beaver Lake is, again, everybody's very focused on Rogers, and rightfully so. But I heard that Beaver Lake is terrible. Downtown Bentonville, right by where you live, is really, really
It's
bad.
really bad.
Decatur's terrible
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
So they said it was like a 300-mile, like 5 tornadoes, I think they said, kind of bounced for 300 miles.
I saw a map today where they showed like it was here and then it was here, and like everything in the middle it just went over. and I was like, where it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right down Walnut. I mean, it's I don't know if you've seen videos or pictures or in person, but
I haven't even gone down there because I figured it would make it worse
Yeah.
for.
We went down there 2 days ago or 3 days ago. One of our agents is on Elm, and oh my gosh, it's like 200-year-old trees, just down everywhere. You think about it. It's like, that's why we love Northwest Arkansas, is obviously its character, its trees and all that stuff, but like those aren't really replaceable in our lifetime, but you think about it, just like, it was devastating. It's funny though, I mean, there was some houses that trees fell on, but a lot of trees missed houses and missed places, but it's pretty
It could
bad.
have been a lot worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's really bad, but I mean, you see some of the trees that came down, they missed houses by inch. I mean, it was just a miracle that it wasn't worse.
And I think all the electric companies are, getting everyone's power on sooner than what they had thought. So hopefully, like those guys, we haven't. We were supposed to have rain every day this week, and we haven't.
We haven't.
Because those guys would be shut off.
For sure.
So we're lucky that it's giving us at least a pause.
Yeah, I think there was
Tell tomorrow, I'm saying.
9 deaths or something like that. Thoughts and prayers for that. That's just horrible.
Horrific.
But to your point, we're how many people? 600,000 people in our marketplace, and it's like to 9. But still, it's like if you're one of those people, it's sad.
Yeah.
it's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
and the timing. I mean, it's 2 a.m. Everybody's home. Nobody was out on the roads. I mean, you just think about just what could have been, and 9 people is 9 too many, and all home for sure,
100%.
But it was like, oh man, it just
Yeah.
2:00 in the morning was everybody's home and huddled up in shelters and
Yeah.
things. I texted Max. This is another great story. I didn't know he was out of town because I can't keep track of you guys and what's going on. And I saw Decatur and Centerdale was bad, so I'm texting him at 3:30 in the morning, and he gets it.
I wake up and I'm like, I wonder what's going on. I'm like, he's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm good. What's going on? And so I get on social media after he asked that and saw that there were tornadoes. So, I mean, thanks for thinking of us.
I was thinking of you.
I mean,
Stopped by
And
Rob's house.
I may have been a little bit of a smart aleck. The next morning, I sent him a picture of us on the boat, and I said, "We're all safe."
Yeah.
Josh is like, "I hate you, man."
There was a lot of people out of town. I think that was another
Yeah.
thing.
Where they were
you know, this came
as
back.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, and that was we were, usually when we're having to go places, with our kids getting older now, one of them's still here, one of them somewhere else, which our kids were.
Yeah.
So then you're
Our
like,
boys
you're
were-
not here, and you don't know like what's.
It was a
going
long
on,
night
and
because we were on
yeah.
the phone with them for the entire night because they were scared.
Yeah.
They were scared. So
And again, your home, the house next to it looks terrible. The house across the street looks terrible. The house next to this looks terrible. And your house with this massive tree out front, thank God, right? Very, very minimal damage.
I think we just got super lucky because I just had both those trees trimmed, and I think if that didn't happen, they would have been in the house because the way all the other trees fell, those trees would have hit our house. So we were just by luck. I had those trees trimmed, and
You are a lucky guy. I got to tell you.
yeah.
Maybe your beautiful wife, a great family. You're a lucky guy.
I mean,
Well, I think
I work hard.
Yeah,
We know that's not true.
but you're right. I think being proactive probably saved your.
You never know.
Because it's like all of us. You live somewhere and you don't realize how fast the years go by, and keeping all that stuff pretty. And so, but it's it's just like we were saying the other day. 99% of the time, we're close to Tornado Alley, but it usually breaks up right around the state line.
Yeah.
So usually you see all the warnings, and you're like, it's no big deal. And this was just one of those 0.01%
All those Oklahoma towns are like, oh, I've never even heard of this town.
Yeah.
And then like the newscasters like rattling them off, or even in Arkansas, like Omaha, Arkansas. It's like, oh, I didn't know we had an Omaha, Arkansas. Hey, a place to invest in. If you guys want an investor tip, I think it's going to blow up. If you think about like Big Cedar and all the stuff, that Thunder Nation amphitheater, that arena they have too. They have all those concerts coming. You think about Airbnbs. Think about our area and continuing to do that too. We've always thought about downtown Bentonville or Beaver Lake, but I think there's going to be a lot of places. The Walton's people buying Kingston and buying some of those stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. If people are like, hey, I missed it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. I think, you never missed anything. I think, just might have to go a little bit
They're
further
doing
out.
a huge air show for the 4th of July out there.
It's going to be a
issue.
lot of opportunity, I think, just in our state. We're blessed, obviously,
Yeah,
to
because
have NWA council.
didn't Bass Pro buy Dog Patch?
They did, yeah.
So all of that might start, and they already have the roads out there, like to get from Little Rock and all that. They have good roads.
I like how you're helping all the viewers. The phones are blowing up right now. People are buying
I
stuff.
know. Well, just, talk about being lucky. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe you have an opportunity. People always go, oh, I missed it. I hear this all the time in real estate. And you didn't miss it. You just got to maybe dig a little deeper or think a little differently. And it's like, maybe you buy acreage that has 4 or 5 acres and put 5 A-frames on it.
Yeah.
We'll start with one. I think people go, oh, I don't have the money to do 4 or 5. Well, maybe you actually take someone else's RV. They're not using it. It's in storage. It's got dust on it. Maybe you pay them $200 a month and you put it on a pad on a site and you Airbnb that. That's just ways to have revenue. And I think that's the other thing is like, get creative, People, it's like, hey, you don't need to be a savvy real estate investor. It's like, help think differently. It's like people need,
he's ready to start another
there you
business.
go.
Just say no. Your wife is right now getting frustrated.
We could
I
get
will
one of
tell
those
you.
old RVs and maybe put in Josh's driveway. You could get some extra income coming in.
Oh, I need it. First kid of 6 starting college this year. I need the extra income stream.
Well,
That's a biggie too.
You should have them put the podcast name as a wrap on the side of the RV and they have to drive it around.
There it is.
So one day a week they have to drive around as advertising.
Serve pizza out of there.
No,
They could.
Pizza days. My pizza days are over. Pizza days are over. It was good pizza.
Yeah, it was amazing pizza.
So, what do you think about the real estate market here after the storm? What do you think? Short term, mid term, long
I
term?
still think strong, and you hear people talk about 39 people, whatever the number is a day. I actually heard this and it finally rang in me. It's really 14,000 a year. That's a big number because when you say 39, it doesn't seem like much a day. But when you think about a year, I worry a little bit about infrastructure, and I know people are thinking about that, but you can only do so much. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity. I think, going west, I like, Heifel, Decatur, Gentry. I think there's a lot of opportunity. Capture dirt there, buy dirt and do some things. But I just think there's a lot of opportunity for people. For sure. I think there's some infill opportunities too, but I just think people, group together. We crowdsourcing, go in with a family, go in on something, it's like our appreciation has been wild. Back to COVID, it was 20%, 19% those years, and it's like, I think you're going to continue to see that. I think
You guys are buying a lot of land continuously in the region, no? I mean, you guys
we try to.
Yeah.
When's the right opportunity? We'll
Yeah.
Because you guys are
grab something.
You're doing a lot in Bella Vista, right?
I do a lot in Bella Vista.
Yeah.
So does
The biggest problem I think that I have is, and I have to reset myself all the time, but I've lived here so long that it kills me because you see what that stuff's done, and
The price per square foot increase.
So you look at property and you're like, I can't believe this is a deal that I've offered for this, that I could have bought it for pennies.
for sure.
But it's like you say, it's
only going to go up.
then that's always the hope. And my biggest thing is with real estate, any real estate is versus the stock market is I at least have control of it, and I have like an asset I can go look at. They can't just tell me, hey, it's worth $2 now. It was 10 yesterday, but it's 2 now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why real estate's always been my favorite investment.
And just exit strategies. Before, you couldn't Airbnb, VRBO, short term. You can do nurses, 13-week rentals. There's just so many creative things you can do. Also, creative financing. I hear people all the time say, I don't have money. Well, you know what? The right deal, I've done several of them where the owner doesn't want to pay capital gains. He doesn't want to pay taxes on that. He'll own or finance the deal over 5 years. You just got to ask better questions and educate yourself. And I think that's something that's important is like if you want to get it done, you can. That's what I love about real estate.
Yeah.
To your point, you could split off a piece, split off a parcel. You could flip a lot. You could maybe even go in and put the land. So if you bought a lot in Bella Vista, you guys, I'm sure they're like, hey, let me put the lot in the deal. You get it for nothing, and then maybe on the exit, they'd get maybe a premium of the lot because maybe they thought the lot was only going to be worth $2,000, as a association lot, if you will,
Yeah.
But now there's just think differently and ask good questions. I think that's important too. Real estate, that's what I love is like we can do things differently that people just don't think about.
Yeah.
You can always figure out a way to do something. We're always open to figuring out, helping a client do something to win. Back to that win-win-win, say yes. We always just say yes. There's a way, I think that's important.
Well, we appreciate you coming in.
Yep.
Thank you for today. So just
Yep.
one last time for the viewers, the phone number and the date of the concert.
Concert is June 8th, and the band is Once We're Young. And then they can text 616-HOME, use area code 479, and we'll get them links to the NWA Strong T-shirts. Remember, the proceeds of the shirts will go back to the tornado victims. Well, we need silent auction items. If you know anybody that has some, a vendor or whoever it is, maybe you do a cool autograph, a T-shirt or
Autograph
something.
that shirt.
So
Game-worn jersey.
there you go.
What time's the concert?
The concert's 7 p.m.
7
and
p.m.
Here's another thing is hopefully we've thought of a lot of things is like bring everyone, bring your dog, bring your kids, just hang out, let's just celebrate and take care of people. And we're all also, if people like it, I think it's a good idea. I've talked to Rendezvous, I've talked to Blue Ribbon, I've talked to other people there. We're thinking about doing several concerts if people enjoy it or like it, and actually doing the same thing. We'll cover the concert and just make sure it's free for the community. Even if we didn't raise any money, here's the thing:
Yeah,
if you've been in a stressful situation where maybe you lost part of your house and you're like, hey, I just need to get out of here. I'll just come to a concert for a
Which
few
will
hours.
cost me nothing.
Cost me nothing. Hang out with some people, maybe meet a new person to get a real estate deal or maybe a new job or a new career.
So will
Just
Be
celebrate.
Unlimited be there with
They
those
will,
shirts?
yep. We'll make sure Ben and his team's out there. We'll get that figured out for sure, too. We'll figure out Give Back NWA is the Facebook group, too. If people want to share on there and say what they need or how they can help, we'll help coordinate that, too. But
Awesome.
And why don't you do one last plug for the real estate school, that opportunity?
for sure, still text 616-HOME, and we'll send you a Google form that will be free. So regularly, real estate school is $500. We'll go ahead and give that to you for free, and you can do it at your own pace. Now, you have to do it within 6 months or it expires, but we'll figure out a way to extend that if we
Are
need
you going to
to.
go to real estate school?
I already hold multiple real estate licenses. I don't need one more. Actually, one of mine probably reciprocates here, I'm sure.
There you go. I have my Florida executive broker license. Back to entrepreneurship, the dream was whenever you buy your $1 million Florida house, see, I'll just help you buy it there.
Yeah.
Just help Arkansas people. If you go, it's all SEC, basically the whole 30A. And I just said, hey, how do you help people there? Back to just say yes.
Just say yes. Well, let's leave with just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having
We're
us.
excited about for you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for all you do in the community. We were so thrilled you came on today, and thanks for everything you're doing. And B Team Podcast is here to support. We will be at all of this activity, and we will push people through the phone number as best as we can.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.